Hello people of Earth and elsewhere, and welcome to the Girlish Vice. Today I'm taking a break from the usual spam to talk about the finer side of the anime world. The softer side, the romantic side, the shoujo side. The side that's steeped in revenge and an agonizing climb to fame. Yes, today I attempt to bring attention to one of the greatest and longest running shoujo beat manga series in the world, Skip Beat, while I draw something not exclusively related to the content. Allow me to start this off with a bit of a story. It all began with this wonderful thing called sibling rivalry. My closest sister and I always kind of shared our manga experiences, but as I got into college and had too much free time with prerequisite classes, I would read more manga than she could keep up with. So, at points when she got the opportunity, she would try to sneak manga into the house without me being aware of it. I imagine it was frustrating to have me find it and pick up the manga and finish it before she could. We've gotten past this point by now, don't worry, though I'm sure my manga reading habits are still a pet peeve of hers. That's a story for another time, though. Anywho, on a cold evening, I was almost out the door on the way to a class when a rather large paperback volume caught the corner of my eye. It was an omnibus edition, volumes 1 through 3, of a series I was certain my sister picked up by the recommendation of one of her friends. It could have been a petty reason, like wanting to bug my sister, or I was genuinely curious about the manga, but whatever the reason, there was no better opportunity to give it a look at, as when we were both out of the house, which was just the case at this point in time. I promptly picked up the book and put it in my backpack, with every intention of reading as much of it as possible before getting home in the evening and returning it to her. Well, I'll leave it at, I began the manga when I got to school, and the rest of it is history in the making. And, in case I didn't make it plain as day, this manga was titled Skip Beat. Yoshiki Nakamura started her manga by this name back in 2002. 15 years and 40 volumes later, it's one of my favorite manga of all time and one of the few, next to the ever-popular JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, that I read as the chapters come out each month. Despite having a relatively small following outside of Japan, it's a series that tends to please those who decide to give it a chance, and just last year the loyalty of the fan base paid off by earning it a successful North American distribution via Kickstarter by Pied Piper Incorporated. Okay, Crackers, I'll humor you. So what's so great about this series? Well, thank you for giving me the benefit of the doubt. Let's dive into this exciting showbiz challenge, while attempting to keep spoilers at a minimum, of course. So, picture in your head what comes to mind when you think of a generic female protagonist of a typical shoujo manga. You might think she's polite, earnest, a little clumsy, and kind-hearted to a fault. Oh, and of course she's in high school. Congratulations, you've just met Kyoko Mogami, the heroine of Skip Beat. Hey, don't close that tab, this is going somewhere. Kyoko is a hard-working high school dropout with 3 jobs that she juggles so she can pay the expenses of living in a high-end apartment. Why? For senpai! Okay, so he's actually the same age as her, but the basic shoujo senpai principle applies here. This dude, Sho, is on the fast track to becoming the biggest pop culture icon in Japan. As he rises through the celebrity rankings, Kyoko is content just to help him reach his dream in any way she can. They've known each other since they were kids, and she knows him better than anyone else, and is okay with doing only that. Until she finds out that Sho Fuwa is just a jerk who's been taking advantage of her better nature and only invited her along on his escapade to fame so that she could essentially be his maid. Faced with this sudden reality, Kyoko goes through a radical transformation and declares revenge against Sho for breaking her heart and causing her to waste so much of her time on him. This is where the story actually begins. Unfortunately for our protagonist, now that she's cut ties with that jerk, she can't just rain down the unholy hellfire of her newly formed grudges against him as she ever so wishes to. She has to step up to his level and break into show business to make him pay. So, that's exactly what she does. How? Well, that's where things get interesting. Let's see. Being fairly vague here, Kyoko manages to essentially harass her way into an audition with a talent agency, which she ultimately doesn't pass, but not without leaving an impression on the eccentric president of said corporation, who then proceeds to pull some strings to give her another chance, which lands her in a spot coveted by none, and wearing an eyesore pink jumpsuit that you'd think only you would ever find on a Barbie doll. From there, the good times just keep on rolling. Again, I'd like to say that this is still just where the series starts. Kyoko's journey is one of a real adventure and drive, while she does her best to have a stunning debut and put Sho in his place. Now, while this is a recurring theme, Kyoko doesn't remain a romantically destitute ball of hatred throughout the entirety of the series. Quite the contrary, the manga and anime alike portray Kyoko's amazing growth as a character and her coming into her own as a person while she explores the world of acting and performance. Kyoko's is a story of failures and successes, on a story to find out who she is and be the best she can in this difficult climate she has found herself in and come to love. This is to say nothing of the rest of the series' motley cast, from allies to enemies, friends, and rivals alike. It would be to sell Skip Beat short not to mention them, at least vaguely, as while some are definitely more memorable and occur far more often than others, characters are never one-time performers in this play, which is both drama and comedy in nature. Are you going to tell us about those other characters? Nope, this is a thing best experienced for yourself. Starting in 2008, Skip Beat managed to make a steady and faithful transition from manga to anime. Though only 25 episodes long, the animation and audio give a firm grasp of everything the source material presents. I mentioned before that the series only just received its official North American distribution. It was in November of 2017, over 9.5 years later, that I managed to get my hands on a licensed copy of the Blu-ray and DVD, including English dub options. This recent development is what prompted me to spread the word about Skip Beat, actually, despite having been following the series for so much longer. A year prior to its release, I got the news that I had actually missed the Kickstarter campaign, much to my own chagrin. However, I was not out of luck completely, as my time and money could still be spent supporting the backer kit pre-orders of the DVDs and Blu-rays, and other fun memorabilia that could come with them. So I jumped on that opportunity instead. Yay, I'm supporting the official release. Good for me. Well, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, money well spent. Due to TV Tokyo owning the rights to the anime, there was a lot of jumping through hoops to make this product into a reality for North American fans. The English dub was one of the requirements laid down by the network to allow it to happen in the first place, and I would like to commend the cast and crew for a phenomenal job on it. None other than Caitlin Glass is the voice of the bestest of best girls, Kyoko Mogami, and it could not have been better any other way. The openings and endings have dubs of their own as well, which is pretty rare nowadays, and while I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, it is an amazing effort on the part of the localization team. I'll go ahead and link back to some of the sources you can go to if you would like more information about the fiasco it was to get this project done. Overall, I'm here to promote this series of my own will. It's a pretty inspirational and feel-good series that never fails to make me smile, and I cannot recommend it enough. The leading female is both crazy and endearing, being relatable in some of the most human ways I've ever seen. The series is well-paced, and the animation and acting in both the dub and the sub of the anime are top-notch. While I am certain it is not a show for every anime fan out there, I will always say to give it the benefit of the doubt, and it may surprise you. If I haven't convinced you myself, I have done Skip Beat little to no justice. But consider this, a series that has had a successful run over the course of 15 years and is still going strong has got to be doing something right, at the very least. Thank you to you viewers who watched this video all the way through. With any luck, I hope you give my recommendation some thought and give Skip Beat a good shot for all it's worth. Next time I upload, I'll be back to a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure feature, which is what I know my subscribers have been waiting for. If you like this or would like to see that when it comes out, consider subscribing for future spam. I also give regular updates on my artistic and YouTubing endeavors on my Twitter, which you can find a link to in the description of this video. If somehow the painting got your attention, you can check that out along with my other art among the links below. There's much more where that came from, and you might just see what I've been doing for the past month that's been keeping me off of this particular site. And that's it for now, people of Earth and elsewhere. Once more, thank you for watching me, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Ciao!